Hey everyone, welcome back. So this is the second video in a series of videos all about English verb tenses and aspects. My name is Sharon and I'm so happy that you're studying with me today. All right, so getting into our second video, we are focusing now on verb aspect. Oh, sorry. As I said in my last video, you are already probably familiar with tense, but not aspect. And so now we're going to talk about what aspect is. All right. So verb aspect tells us not when it was completed, but the completion of the action. And this is difficult for students to understand sometimes. Verb aspect is not about when. The tense tells us when the action was completed, but the aspect tells us how complete the action was. So let me tell you more about what I mean. So the simple aspect tells us things like facts, things that are simply true, things that are. Now, if I make it past, I'm talking about things that were. And if I'm talking about future, I'm talking about how things will be. Okay? Perfect has a different sense. It refers to a completed action. So if you, in some grammar books, you'll see like this timeline and this will be present. And, you know, completed actions will look like X's, right? X's on the line. Done, completed. Progressive aspect has a sense of ongoingness, that it's continuing. Or if it happened in the past and it's over, when we use the progressive tense, it gives us that sense of duration, of the action being in movement in the past or in movement in the future. That's what's different. It's our perspective of how we see that action being done. Is it simply something that is or was? That would be the simple aspect. Do we want to talk about the idea that the action was completed? Then we're going to use perfect. The progressive makes us think of that process. And how perfect progressive just makes you have to do all these mental gymnastics because it refers to actions that started at a time and continued on for a period of time. They could continue to the present. They could continue on into the future, but it has a combination of starting and ongoingness. All right, so here are 4 examples. Let me make myself go away. Pause the video here and see if you can first find the verb and second, identify the aspect. So pause here. All right, here we go. Move myself up here. All right, so in our first one, our verb is was working, right? Was working. Okay. In this one, we see that ing. And ing should make us think progressive. Okay. And we'll talk more about verb forms as we're going. So progressive, I'll just say here, is be plus ing. And we'll see this in later videos too. Our second one, what's the verb? We see has taken. Okay. Now, do you see the aspect here? So this is actually perfect. And perfect has a version of have, has, or had, depending on the tense. And it has something called the past participle. Okay, so this is actually present perfect. Oh, sorry. Well, I'll tell it to you anyway. Okay, it's simple. All right, and our verb is sold. We don't see any other parts of the verb except just the verb to sell within the past tense. And then finally, what's our last one? Our verb is have been learning. Look at that, 3 parts. All right, have been learning. It's not just perfect, it's perfect progressive. So with perfect progressive, notice you see a combination of have, past participle, and ing. Okay. All right, so to review, let me make some notes here. So to review, we have our aspects, we have simple, perfect, progressive, and what's the last one? A combination of the last 2, perfect, progressive. Okay, so thanks for joining me for this overview of aspect, and in our next video we're going to get into even more detail about how these verbs look. I'll see you next time.